Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the the third training in our Post Planner Bootcamp series. I'm Diana Adams, and I am here with real life Jedi, or at least that's what I call him, Josh Parkinson, the CEO of Post Planner. And before we get into our training today, I want to just very briefly give you a little bit of background information on our first two trainings that we had. First of all, I wanted to tell you that if you didn't see those, don't worry. They're not necessarily in sequential order, and this is as good of a time as any to start with our training series. You will receive an email that has links to the other two, the first two, and we absolutely recommend that you listen to those because Josh gave tons of great ideas in those trainings for how you can increase your social media engagement. So, and the feedback we've gotten on those is phenomenal, so I know you're going to love them. Today, we are going to talk about how to plan your social media posts to get more engagement. And I know that strategically planning social media posts is something a lot of people struggle with. So I know that we are all going to learn so much today. Josh, you ready? Take it away.
I'm ready. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the boot camp part 3. I think the best way to kick this baby off is to review a little bit about what we talked about last time. So, and actually the time before that as well. So it all kind of links together, so it's good to get a little bit of context. If you guys weren't around for the first webinar, we basically, I'm going to share my screen here, we talked about, let me know when you can see that. Can you see that now, Diana?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So this is the blog post that's about that first boot camp. You guys can check that out. I think we're going to share that with you via an email, but I'm going to also throw it in here just in case you guys want to check that out. We basically we talked all about being data-driven in social media posting, all right? And we told the true story of a post that started on my personal profile. Here it is. I found it while reading an article one morning. I formatted it in a really digestible way. I threw it up on my personal profile with just because I thought it was cool, and it suddenly outperformed all of the other text-based statuses that I had done basically this year. So with that in mind, and because I like to be data-driven, I went to our social media team and we created an image with it, which is right here, and we posted it on our Post Planner fan page. As you can see, it did pretty well. It got about 500 shares, 460 shares, 600 likes, about 62,000 people were reached with this post. Not too shabby. At the same time, we always know that it's if you can do something well one way, you can do it well another way. So this is kind of the A to the B test that we did on Instagram, which is right here. This did pretty well as well. Got 177 likes and a few comments. And because we saw the success of this image on Instagram, we decided to take the same image and throw it up on our Facebook page a month after the first one. And this one did really well. As you can see, it got about 2,200 shares, 2,000 likes, a lot of comments, and we reached about 400,000 people with this post. Our page has about 200,000 fans, so we reached about 200% of our fan base, which is great, which led to a lot of people liking our page and us getting more reach and more followers. So then, after all this success, during the end of the year, I noticed that another page called 9gag took our original image, put another image with Oprah on it, put their logo on there at the bottom, and shared it. And this did even, obviously a lot better because they have such a bigger fan base. They had about 180,000 shares, about 600,000 likes. All this was to point out that if something outperforms for one audience, it's very likely that it's going to outperform for another audience. So it's smart for you to be data driven in your posting and do tests. Try to get data for anything you post. Look at your social media posts as experiments that come back with data, and you can see that if you choose content that has been successful in the past and are data driven in your social media posting, then you're going to get a lot more reach. You're going to get a lot more engagement. You're going to reach more people, and ultimately you're going to drive engagement up on your page and on your social media accounts, which is going to lead to a lot more people clicking your website links, your blog posts, for example, and going back to your website. So that's what that's in the end the thing that we want to do to drive the growth of our businesses. So that was really what week one was all about: how to be data driven. I told that story about that particular piece of content, and I think it's a good kind of basis for our whole philosophy on social media posting. We don't want to be guessing too often. Yeah, you want to guess sometimes. You find a new piece of content that looks cool, or you come up with something on your own that's creative or entertaining or beautiful, and you want to post it. That's awesome, but you should still be looking at that as a test and possibly doing a couple different versions of it, and seeing which one performs better, and then escalating it up to another page, and just being data driven. This is the whole idea of what I talked about last week. I took that Isaac Newton quote. He said, when he got a lot of praise for being a smart scientist, he said, kind of humbly, he said, "Hey, if I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants," meaning that he was discovering truth by building on previous discoveries. He was discovering what we know as gravity. He had to he had to read a lot of books and study a lot of science, and study under a lot of smart professors, even to get to the point where he could have those kind of thoughts. It's the same thing with social media. You got to immerse yourself in social media. You got to immerse yourself in the kind of content that's being shared out there, and be data driven, see what kind of response that content's getting, and then post stuff that's already been successful, that's already proven itself. Stand on the shoulders of giants. So that's what webinar 1 was all about. Webinar 2, we kind of took that further, and we said, okay, if standing on the shoulders of giants is an important thing, if being data driven is an important thing in social media, then how do we find giants, right? And that's what last week's boot camp was all about. Was we jumped in and we pretended like we were running a health, wellness, and nutrition business, and just so you guys can know, we also have a blog post on that, which is right here: how to find the best content to post on social media. I'll throw that in here as well. There you go. And yeah, this last week was all about how do we find those giants? How do we find those streams of content that are, number one, that are active, that are posting a lot of stuff, so we have a lot of experiments to choose from. And number two, in a particular domain, so that we know that the content they're sharing could be, used on our own page. Again, we were pretending, we had this hypothetical situation that we were going to be running a health, wellness, and nutrition business, and trying to kick ass on social media with that business. And I just showed some of the best ways that I know to find content sources. We went into Facebook. We used their recommendation feature. We went into Post Planner. We did some searching inside of there. We used Google to find the best Facebook pages in particular domains. And very importantly, that was kind of the meat. But importantly, before we even talked about that, we talked about why it's important. Why we need content in the first place. Why we need content on social media. Well, basically, I introduced you guys to my fishing metaphor, right? And this is the idea that we need a couple different categories of content when we're posting on social media. We need our chum, which is engaging visual content that gets a lot of engagement, gets a lot of clicks, and we need baited hooks. Baited hooks are links back to our blog, back to our landing pages, back to our website. just like in fishing, you throw that chum out there, you attract the fish to the boat. They get chomping on that chum. They get biting. They get in a feeding frenzy. They get closer to you than they were before. And then you throw in those baited hooks, and they're so busy, biting on that chum that suddenly that baited hook's right there in front of them. They're going to bite on that too. And that's kind of the principle that really drives our own social media behavior, and we see it as a best practice for that. It could be a great best practice for you as well. You got to go out there. You got to find data-driven chum, right? You got to find chum and content, visual content, viral content, engaging content that has already proven itself, and then you have to create some really awesome content with that. And then you got to throw out your baited hooks. And in order to throw out your baited hooks, you've got to have that in the first place. Where did I have that webinar? Now, if you go to postplanner.com/fishing, that'll take you to this blog post where we have this infographic, right? And we talked about the fish are your fans. You are the fisherman, the business, and you got to chum the waters with engaging content. Half the time you got to put all that engaging content out there. Questions, images, a meme, a third-party link, videos, right? You got to get that out there so that you can get your fans engaging. And then you drop in your baited hooks, which are your own promotional videos, your blog posts, your ebooks, anything that leads back to your website or leads to people getting into the top of your funnel, where eventually you're going to turn them into customers, which is going to drive your business forward. So, that really leads right into today, because, to kick ass on social media, you got to have both these types of these two categories of content. And today we're going to talk about how you actually distribute them, right? We're going to talk about the distribution of the chum and the baited hook. So you can think of us on that boat out in the middle of the social media seas, and you can just think we're standing on the deck of this boat, you and me and Diana and the rest of the crew, and I'm going to show you basically how, when, where, and what to toss out of the boat to attract and catch the fish. And again, catching fish means that you get them back to your website, back into the funnel. You can just picture that fish. You hook them with your blog post. You hook them. You're reeling them in, and your mate on the boat has a funnel right there, and he pulls that funnel out, and you just pull that fish up, and you drop that fish right into your funnel, right? And that funnel is your sales funnel, and eventually you're gonna get some money from that fish right there. And that money is going to help you survive and thrive as a business. So again, this week it's all about how to distribute that chum and those baited hooks, which is how to plan out your content. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put your social media fishing, your content distribution on an automated plan, so that you're sending out a nice balance, right? A nice variety of chum and baited hooks. I mean, imagine if you're the fisherman, if you go out there on the high season, you just dump all your chum in the water all at once, you don't have any left, and then the fish eat it all, then maybe you're going to get a few bites on your baited hooks if you throw them in after, but then you're like, man, I don't have any chum left. I need to keep the fish biting, throughout time. So I don't want to just put all my chum in first and then all my baited hooks in after that. No, you got to mix it up. You got to throw some chum in, and you got to drop in some baited hooks, and then you got to throw some more chum in, and you got to drop in some baited hooks. You got to post some engaging visual content, get a lot of engagement, get a lot of clicks, get a lot of likes, get a lot of shares, get a lot of retweets, and then you got to drop in a blog post next. And you'll get some clicks on there, people going back to your website, reading, getting inside your funnel, and then right after that, you're going to drop in another piece of chum. Maybe a fill in the blank, maybe a question, maybe another image, maybe a video. You're going to get a lot of clicks, you're going to get a lot of shares, get a lot of engagement. And then after that, what are you going to do? Drop in another hook again. And then once that hook's out there, what are you going to do? Drop in another piece of chum again. That's what it's all about, right? You want to mix it up. You want to mix up those two categories of content And the best way to do that is to automate it, right? You want to automate the variety so you're not doing it manually. Okay? Now, the example of everything we're going to talk about today, as an example, I'm gonna use our own social media accounts. I'm going to use our own Facebook page and our own Twitter account. That is the Facebook page of Post Planner, which is right here, and the Twitter account of Post Planner, which is right here. Hey, there's me, my awesome Post Planner hat. If you guys want to get one of those hats, then send me a message and I'll manufacture a few for you. That's not our specialty. We're more in the social media engagement business. But hey, if you want a hat, maybe I can hook you up. All right. So now, why would we use our own social media accounts as proof or examples of what we're doing? Well, that's because this is one of our real big principles in our business. I'm going to take you over here to our About page. I'll drop that in the chat as well real quick. You can head over there and you can see what our values are, right? I'm going to stop that. Okay, so here is our About page, and if you scroll down past our mission, past where our customers are, you can see our core values, and right there at the top is number one, we eat the dog food. That's our number one core value, and that is that we use the tools that we build. We built Post Planner, the app Post Planner, so by golly, we're going to use it, all right? And we're going to prove that it works. If we can't prove that it works for us on our own social media accounts, then we have failed. We feel like we have failed, and that our tool is not a great tool. So we eat the dog food. We use our own tool to get the engagement that we say it gets, and we follow the advice we give, and we demonstrate and prove the value we offer. So I mean, that's really what I want to do today. I'm going to show you. I'm not just going to be some expert out there telling you some kind of consultant who's not really doing it themselves. I'm going to show you that yeah, we're actually doing it. We're using our app to do it, and the proof's in the pudding, baby. So here is the Post Planner fan page. I'm sure many of you have been to it. Let me share that link real quick. It's facebook.com/Post Planner. There you go. Let's take now, considering what we just talked about. We talked about chum, mixing up the chum with the baited hooks. We want visual content. We want a variety going out. We want first some engaging an engaging piece of content, then a baited hook. Something back to our website, then an engaging piece of content. Let's see if we're actually doing this, right? Instead of just talking the talk, let's see if Post Planners walking the walk. Here's the Post Planner fan page. Now let's scroll down here and see what kind of posts we're getting here. Okay, 2 hours ago, that looks like a nice piece of visual content. Not too shabby. Hundreds of likes, hundreds of shares. All right, it's new, so it's not going to be that high. Oh, what's next? Looks like this is a blog post, a link somewhere. Where is it? It's postplanner.com. How to get lots of likes on Facebook without ads. Looks like a podcast that we've done in the past. Below that, oh, another image. Look at that. Here's a viral image we chose because we're data driven, and we saw that this image was doing well somewhere else. We used our own app to find it. We threw it out there. It's doing okay, not too great, but you never know. These things can go viral days after you post it. They can go viral hours after. But at least we didn't guess on this, right? We found something that we saw was doing well somewhere else, and so we posted it on our page. Next, oh, there's another blog post, right? And this one looks like our most recent blog post, growing a brick and mortar business with social media. This was one written by our Chief of Operations, Sam Risby. You notice it's in there, and it's in between what? 2 pieces of chum, right? And that's the next one, a piece of chum. So you can see that we're actually, following this advice that I'm going to be giving you today. We're following it on our own pages, and we're not just doing it because we, arbitrarily think it's the best way to do it. We do it because we're data driven, right? We've tested all kinds of things in the past, and we see that this is really the best way to do it on Facebook for most businesses. if you just constantly put out those baited hooks, yeah, you're gonna do okay, especially if your content's really great. But we found that if you put in the chum in between, then you're gonna drive up engagement and you're gonna get more clicks on your baited hooks when you throw them out there. So as you can see, I'm just gonna scroll down more, baited hook. I want to find an example. Here's an announcement of a blab that we were doing yesterday. So it's not all blog posts, right? We even used an image for this. Um, let's look at this one. 10 simple ways to measure your Instagram marketing success. Now we don't put dates on our published dates on our blog posts. Some people do, some people don't. We decided not to because we feel like if someone comes in and they see a post that is evergreen and does have value, but they see it was posted 2 years ago, they might immediately bounce because they see it as less valuable, even though it is valuable and it still has a lot of awesome information on it. They might just bounce because they see it's 2 years old. But you can see how old it is by looking at the comments, and you can see that this one is from May of last year. Okay, so just if this comment was, one of the if this comment happened right after it was published, then we can deduce that this was published in May. So that should make you think, well, dude, how you're publishing a blog post that was written like 8 months ago, 7 months ago, and you published it 23 hours ago, yesterday? Yeah, we did, and I'm going to show you why we did that and why it's important and how we have it all automated to do that. You can see this reached 12,000 people. It got a share, it got several likes. I'm sure it got a lot of clicks, and it wasn't any additional work on our backs. We wrote this thing 7 months ago. What we're doing is we're continuously re-adding it into the social media ecosystem and getting a lot of clicks and getting traffic back to our website using our old content. So we're leveraging old evergreen, still valuable evergreen content to get traffic back to our website from social media. So you can see here that there's several things going on, but the main thing is that we are mixing up chum, engaging content with our own baited hooks, links back to our blog posts, to our blabs, to our webinars, to our ebooks, and we're walking the walk instead of just talking the talk. Okay, cool. So what about Twitter? Let's see what we're doing on Twitter. I'm gonna close these babies. Twitter. Let's see if it's the same thing. We got a blog post, 3 essential ingredients. This was published. There's actually 2 new ones. So we're retweeted something about our viral chat, which is tomorrow. Here's the boot camp that's happening right now. We just tweeted that 28 minutes ago. And then we got a blog post. This is also our webinar. And then we got a viral image, no link here, right? This is simply a viral. This is chum right here, right? We put some chum out, and then we got another blog post, baited hook, baited hook, baited hook, chum, baited hook, baited hook, baited hook, baited hook, chum. So you guys get the picture on both. What my point of showing you this is that, look, we're doing exactly what I'm telling you, what I'm trying to teach you in this webinar. We are actually doing it currently, like today we're doing it on both our Facebook page and on our Twitter account, okay? So I just want to make that clear that, that this is something that we're actually doing. Okay, so you can imagine if we had to do that manually, though, that would be kind of a pain in the butt, right? For us to go and we find one of our blog posts, we go back on our blog, we find a blog post, we go back into Post Planner, we schedule it, for tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and then we go into our blog or into our app and we find, into our find section and we find some chum. And then we schedule that for 2 hours later. If I had to manually do that every day, or when I do schedule my posts, it would take a lot of time, right? And I have to make sure that first I did a piece of a baited hook, and then I did chum, and then I did beta hooks, and then I did chum. Well, we know that would suck if you had to do that, and that's why we built our plan system here. Now, I'm here in the app, and I've clicked on the plan button over here on the left, and now I'm going to click on the Post Planner fan page, and there you can see, right there in front of you, this is the plan for Post Planner. And I want you to notice a few things. First of all, we can see that we're posting 10x a day, right? 10 times every single day. We have the same schedule for every day of the week, so we don't have a different. Some people like different schedules on weekends. Some people like different schedules on different days of the week. We've just decided that it doesn't really make a difference so much if we vary things from day to day throughout the week. Every day can have this exact same schedule, so that's what we do. And the reason why I think that's possible is because we have automated variety here, right? And this is how it works. We have 10 times down here: 1 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 5:45 a.m., 7:45 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and so on, all the way to 10:15 p.m. Right? So you remember we have a fan base that's worldwide, so basically in all time zones. So we want to be pushing out content all throughout the 24-hour period of the day, so that no matter where people are in the world, if they're on social media, if they're on Facebook, then we're going to have a chance to reach them with our content. So we're publishing 10 times a day, about 2.5 hours or so between every post. And the important thing, what we just spent a long time talking about, is over here in this column right here, where it says, okay, we say post at least 10 times every day, but over here it says, what? Post these types of content. And you can see that we've automated variety here into our publishing. At 1 o'clock, we publish an image, photo. At 3:30 a.m., we publish an article. 5, photo. 7, article. 9:45, photo. By the way, we do choose these 45s on purpose because we've tested and seen that those work pretty well. Apparently, people like to tend to have meetings and things that they have to do at the top of the hour, right? You usually don't have a meeting at 9:45, for example, so usually you'll have a meeting at 10. And a lot of people, have 5-10 minutes before that meeting starts, where they don't really have anything to do. And in our day and age, what do people do when they have nothing to do? They look at their phone, right? They look at Facebook. And so we want to have that content going out there 15 minutes before the top of the hour, because we're trying to hit those people who are out there waiting for some meeting or event to start, and they're checking out Facebook, and we want to catch them at that time period. So those 45s are actually deliberate. But back to the issue at hand here, we got photo, article, photo, article, photo, article, photo, article, photo. We got chum, beta hook, chum, beta hook, chum, beta hook, chum, beta hook, chum, and chum. We have text as well. So one time during the night, we at 10:15 p.m. we only allow, at that particular time slot, we only allow text-based updates. And if you don't know, we have a really awesome offering when it comes to text-based updates, and that's our status ideas. You can go in there, you can look at under questions, you can search maybe anything that starts with Y. Actually, that's quotes, sorry. And you can go for likes, fill in the blanks, anything like that. So we have a pretty cool offering there. But we don't post those as often because we've seen that they don't get the huge amount of engagement and reach that images get. So we've decided to go with images most of the time for our chum, right? Now for our baited hooks, we're sticking with our own blog posts. So you can see, if we look at this plan right here, we can see that, look, Post Planner, they publish 4 links every single day to Facebook. And those 4 links are our baited hooks. All 4 of them are blog posts back to our blog to get people in the funnel. Okay? So, this is how we do it. You can do this exact same thing. If you're using Post Planner, just head over into Plan. You can click Add a New Plan here, and you'll be able to choose from your pages or your Twitter accounts, and then you can click select and create a brand new plan and automate it. And it's really easy. So if I can do this right now, at 1 p.m. if I want to allow both images and links, then I can do that. And if I want to allow any kind of content at all, I can click that. And we do have the question of where do videos fit in. Videos are actually counted as visual content, the photos. So we're going to be adding a video capability here pretty soon. So we haven't actually added the icon, but if you do post videos, they're classified as photos. But you can see how easy it is. I can turn this on and off in just a click. If I decide that I want links to go out at 1 a.m. and photos to go out at 3:30 a.m., boom, I did it right there. And when I go back to post over here, where all my posts are, which is here, you can see, you'll be able to see if I refresh this, you'll see that actually this one will be switched to this time slot. Now, I'm not going to get into post too much right now, but I just wanted to make sure you guys can see how easy that is to automate variety, right? To automate, we're sending on our boat, we're on the high seas of social media, we want to mix up our chum and our baited hooks. So what do? We automate post types in the plan. We make sure that we have one after another. Drive engagement, get clicks to our website. Drive engagement, get clicks to our website. Drive engagement, get clicks to our website, and so on, right? And that's how we drive business and traffic via Facebook. What about Twitter? Let's see what we got going on Twitter. Here's the Post Planner Twitter account, and here's the plan for it. You can see we're publishing more often because Twitter is the newsfeed tends to go a little bit faster, just because it doesn't have edge rank, right? It's not. Twitter isn't picking and choosing what you see so much. It's just the whole fire hose of content. So it's a best practice to post more often on Twitter. So we're posting 14 times a day on Twitter, but you can still see that we're still automating, the variety here. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 links going out every day, and we've got about 5 images and 2 text-only posts. And we've also decided here that we want the same schedule for every day. Now notice how easy it is to change that. I can turn off Sunday and Saturday, right? And now this schedule only applies to these 5 days of the week. And I could add a new one. And here are weekends, right? And then I could add a new time. Let's do 1 a.m. and I can change those pretty easily. And then I could go in here and make that one text only and this one image only, right? Now we've decided not to do that. We don't do any difference between our weekends and our weekdays. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And then I'm going to add those back. Voila, that easy, right? So now we have the same schedule going out every day of the week, and I have variety just baked right into the cake. It's automated, right? Now, there's obvious benefits from this, and let's go to the post and just see how it plays out here. Here are the planned posts. I went here to post, right? And here's the social media, the Post Planner Facebook page. These are the posts that are planned for the Post Planner fan page, and you can see, just by way of the interface, that we have this variety here, right? We have image, link, image, link, image, link, image, link. I can see it right there. So if I scroll down, I can see that Leanne, who manages our social media, she's got stuff all the way planned out. In terms of images, I mean, way far into the future. I can scroll down here. How far out? You can see that it ends at some point. The images end, and we're left with just links. We're going to talk about why that is in a second. But here we go. We have images planned out all the way through February 16th. So almost a month in advance, we have this basically automated. We don't have to go and do much in terms of finding content for the next day. It's all set and ready to go. So that gives you an idea how it kind of plays out on the post side. Now let's go back to plan and look at keep looking at this. Now, there's a couple benefits here. The obvious benefit is the one that we've already talked about, right? Is that you have the variety of chum versus beta hooks. You have the variety of links, of engaging visual content, viral content versus your own links back to your own website, right? That's the benefit. That's kind of a benefit of the result, okay? But what other benefits are there? Well, one of the biggest benefits of this is that you can batch your work. Now, I hope you guys know that term batching, right? Batching is when you take a task and you break it apart into 2 or 3, let's say, different tasks, and then you only concentrate on that one, each one of those tasks for a time period. So it's like almost like the opposite of multitasking. Multitasking is when you're doing like 5 things at once. You're switching between tabs on your browser. At one moment you're planning a social media post. The next moment you're responding to someone's comment on social media. The next you're answering a phone call and talking to your mom. The next you're looking over at the TV and watching something that's on TV. And next you're taking a bite out of the sandwich in front of you, right? You're doing like 5 things all at the same time. Well, there's many studies that show that not only is that super stressful, but it's also very unproductive, right? Each time you switch those tasks, you kind of lose concentration on what you're doing. So batching is such a better way to work, and that's kind of what we build into the Post Planner, is this ability to batch. Think about it. Now that I know that I have this schedule here, where I have these 5 time slots that only allow images. They don't allow anything else. They only allow images. What that means is I can go now into Find, for example, go out and find some awesome content, and all I need to concentrate on here is images. So I can set aside the next half hour, the next hour, and I can go down here, and I'm just gonna plan one just for an example. I say I like this one. All right, I'm going to share that. I'm going to share TriLife's image, and I'm going to just add, just for example's sake, I'm just going to add the same quote into the status. I'm not sure I would post this particular one on our page, but I'll show you how I can delete it. But to be honest with you, these kind of like personal, emotional quotes tend to do pretty well on social media. They tend to resonate with people from what I can see. This is a 4-star image, so it's pretty much guaranteed that this thing's going to do well if you post it on your page. Again, this is general content. It's not niche or industry specific. This is from our popular quotes category. But anyway, look, I can go in here. I can jump in, throw in an image, and I can click. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to use Post Planner as an example here. I'm going to use another page I have, which is, let me show you this page. It's a page about climbing, okay? And what I've done here is I'm going to do an image, link, and then anything. Okay, this is the schedule for my free solo page. So if I go back to Find, I can just concentrate on images. And I have a folder here called Climbing. There's a bunch of Instagram accounts in there, some Facebook pages. I can basically go in here and I can schedule 5 of these in a row. Add the plan. I can schedule that one. Sweet. Add the plan. See how fast this is. There's another cool one. That looks kind of cool. Add the plan. Now, of course, I only used one word. Status is there, so that made that pretty quick. But the point is that I can batch this task. I could sit here and pull images for the next half hour, an hour, 2 hours, and I wouldn't have to worry about making sure that there's the baited hooks in between them, right? I'm basically pulling chum here, and I'm gonna Well, that's pretty cool. Down the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm from San Francisco, guys, so that's pretty sweet. Anyway, yeah, the point is I can come in here and I can batch all this, and then when I go back to my plan, I'm gonna choose my climbing page here. Now I haven't posted this in a while. Oh wow, guess they're gonna go through. Anyway, oh shoot, I think I posted them to the Post Planner fan page. Oops. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go in there and delete those. I forgot to change it in the publisher. So if we actually scroll down here, you're gonna see these. Actually, this is kind of good because this gives an example, right? If I scroll down to where Leanne did her last ones, when was that? 16th, I think. What I'm gonna see are, there they are, right? Now this is a perfect example because look, here on the 17th I have 4 links, right? I didn't have to come in here and manually insert these images between these link posts. I didn't have to do that. All I had to do is batch that task, just spend an hour just finding awesome photos, batch that task, and those automatically drop in those time slots where only images are allowed, right? So there they are. And that's exactly what Leanne does. She comes in here, she finds images, she'll spend a couple hours just finding the best images she can find, queuing them up, and then she doesn't have to worry about putting them in between. They just automatically fall in between. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete these because we don't post too much climbing stuff on our fan page, although climbing is awesome. But look, I delete those, and what's left? There's those 3, right? This is the last image that we have planned. So the point is that batching, it really makes, in my opinion, it not only makes you more efficient, but it's also more fun, right? Because you can go in, you can jump in to find, you can, spend an hour just going through all your awesome content that you saved. Remember last time we built this health, wellness, and nutrition folder? So I can go in there and I can check out, the latest stuff. I can, lose myself, in really one task and get really good at it, and then, and get a lot done, be very productive, and then be done with it for the day, right, or for the week, or for how long. So I encourage you to batch, and we built the app to help batch your tasks, and we built the app to let you do that. Now, one last thing before we end today, and that is, let's go back to post, and you'll notice something on these, and remember when we went to down here when we were on the Facebook the fan page, and we found this article, and this article was from last May, right? This was written quite a long time ago, and we asked, well, that's weird, why do we have that here? Well, the thing is, this post, along with many of our other posts, which are evergreen, they have recycle turned on, okay? So what recycle does is you can go in there and you can plan a post, and you'll see, let's see the latest one. I'm going to show you this. The latest post, evergreen post that we publish is right here, okay? How to get lots of likes on Facebook without ads. Now remember that one. You want to get lots of likes, there's the status, okay? Now, we go in here. Remember that post published just a few hours ago. Now, bear with me while I scroll down here. We don't have pagination on our posts, so it's something we're going to add at some point. But right now, you basically have to scroll down, and I'm pretty sure we have posts all the way through May. So we're in March. Just a few more scrolls. You can see how many evergreen posts we have, right? We have a ton of them. These are just posts that we've published throughout the last 3 years that are still valuable, that still can help people, even though they might have been written last year or 2 years ago. And I'm just going to show you what happens when you have recycle on. There it is. There we go. So you can see that we have 4 posts to our blog what I call baited hook posts. We have 4 of them every day. Remember if we look over here on our schedule, you can see that. There they are, 4 link posts a day, every day. And we have them scheduled out all the way to May 24th, okay? And we have recycle turned on every single one of them. So what happens when a post publishes? Well, this post published 4 hours ago, okay? So it was at the top of the queue, 4.5 hours ago. It was at the top of the queue, ready to post. And then after it posted, what happened to it? Well, it went here, right? Want to get lots of likes on Facebook? How to get lots of likes on Facebook without ads. There it is. The next time that publishes is going to be on May 24th. Do you think any one of our fans is going to remember that we published it on January 20th, 4 months earlier? No. They probably aren't even going to be online at that time, or that time of day. Even if they do see it, I don't really care. They might be able to click it again and go to my website and give me one more opportunity to turn them into a customer. But this is how it works, right? It published 4 hours ago, and this one published even more recently, and it's here at the end of the queue again. And I don't even have to worry about this at all. I have all these posts basically on autopilot, right? They're all just sitting there. When they publish, they go to the end of the queue again, they move up, and then 4 months later they publish again. All right, and when I publish a new blog post on our blog, we schedule that one and we just turn requeue on, and there you go. And that's what allows us, if I scroll way up here, back to where the images are, we have those 4 posts a day, those 4 link posts a day, and then in between them, we can batch our production of chum posts. So I hope that makes sense. The whole point of this is how to I'm going to conclude now. So I'm just going to give you the main takeaways that I think that you I hope you have learned today. The first takeaway is that you need both chum and the baited hooks, right? We want both these types of content out here because just going back to what we talked about last webinar before, we want that chum to drive up engagement. What happens when people engage with our chum on Facebook? Well, our fans and people who are not our fans are telling Facebook that they like our content, and therefore Facebook's going to show. Remember, Facebook's recording that. Facebook's noticing that. Facebook's going to show our future content to more of those fans because they've already clicked on our content in the past, right? You got to have the chum to do that, right? Unless your baited hooks, your blog posts are just every single one of them is absolutely amazing, and like someone like a BuzzFeed, even though BuzzFeed does chum as well, right? BuzzFeed does post images. That they don't only post links back to their blog or videos. They do post chum as well. The point is that you need both, right? You got to have both chum and bait. Chum is the visual content, baited hooks are your blog posts. If you don't have any blog posts, if you don't have any ebooks, if you don't have any landing pages, then dude, what are you doing? Are you in business or what? You got to have links going back to your website if you want to turn social into a business producing affair. You got to have your own content that you own that is on your own website and get your fans going back there. How else are you going to turn them into customers? You're not on Facebook just to entertain people, right? So you got to have both chum and baited hooks. That's point number one. That's the main. That's point number one of the main takeaways. Takeaway number 2: you don't need to vary them manually. Okay, you don't need to go in and schedule one piece of chum, an image, and then one baited hook, and then one piece of chum, and then one baited hook. If you use Post Planner and our plan section, you can automate all that, right? You can automate it. You can select which types of content are allowed at which time slots. All right, you can automate them. And then the third takeaway is that you should be batching your post creation. Okay, be batching it. In other words, once you have this set up and you have your chum set up for certain time slots and you have your baited hooks set up for certain time slots, that means that you can batch it. Go in and spend an hour every week, just looking for chum. That's all you don't want to concentrate on finding the best chum you can find and creating posts with it. And then maybe an hour the next day, you can spend another hour only concentrating on creating great posts for your blog posts. I mean, great, Facebook posts with those blog posts as the content. I assure you that if you try to do both at the same time, you're going to be slower and it's going to be more stressful, and it's just going to be a bigger pain in the ass. If you batch those tasks separately, you're going to enjoy it more. It's going to be less stressful. You're going to be able to dive deeper into it. You're going to gain more insight, and you're just going to be more efficient. You're not going to spend as much time. You're going to save time. Okay. And then the fourth and final takeaway today is that you should be recycling your evergreen content. All right. If you have if you have a blog, if you have ebooks, if you have information products that you're sharing, then and they are evergreen, that they haven't gone stale yet, they still are valuable to people if they read them today. You should be continuously posting those back into social media on a continuous basis. And the great way to do that with Post Planner is to use our recycle feature. You can turn it on here, or you can turn it, and this tells you that it's on. Okay. So there you go. Once again, it's another Wednesday when Josh Parkinson has talked your ear off. I hope that you would recover well over the next week and you're ready to come back next week so I can talk your ear off again. But let me stop sharing. There I am. All right, so there you go, people. I hope I provided some value there and some insight into what we're doing. And I'm going to turn it back over to Diana.
Thank everybody for coming today, and whether you're watching this live or whether you're picking it up on the replay, we just want you to know how much we appreciate you, and thank you for coming. Thank you for your fantastic questions. And last but not least, we would love for you to join our Post Planner family. And so I think, Leanne, if you're listening, I think you're going to post an offer here so that people can get started today if they would like. It is $7 per month to get started, and that includes everything that Josh talked about today and everything that he talked about in the last two trainings, just everything you need to start kicking ass on your social media with Post Planner. And the way I like to think about that, it's less than 23 cents a day. And our friends over at Buffer, I always refer to this because it just blows my mind. Our friends at Buffer published an article, I don't know, it was probably 2 months ago now, where they did their research on 500 million social media posts, and they determined that Post Planner users get 650% more social media engagement than all the other popular tools. So see, 23 cents a day for 650% more engagement. Totally makes sense. So
it works.
It works. So we would love to see you. And also, we want to see you on our next training. It's next Wednesday, January 27th. Let me look at my notes on what you'll be talking about, Josh. The topic for next Wednesday, you will be talking about the best ways to manage your social media posts. So before we close out here, just want you to know, if you've registered for today, you will get an email that has the replay for today, the links to the previous two trainings, and then all the info you need for next week's training. So you can get registered for that. And in the meantime, we will see you on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see you guys all over social media sphere. So thank you for coming, and thank you, Josh, so much. That was fun. Awesome. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great week, guys. See you soon.